Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live. And today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the flower card stamp set bundle from Stampin' Up. So this is it's a carryover bundle. So it was in the last annual catalog and it's been carried over and is in the new annual catalog as well. And it's one of my favorite ones. I love any of them. Sorry, I'm trying to get my little straighter on the screen here. I love any of them that you can do the little builder scenes with, and this one's definitely a good one. It's got lots of pretty images in it, and I just like all things flower. So, so there we go. All right, so this is the card we're making today. It's pretty quick and easy, just a couple little die cuts, a little bit of stamping, and a little bit of ink blending on the background, and we are all going to be all done with it. So I see Mary Ruth and Mario are here, so thanks so much for joining. I appreciate that. So Flower Cart is the name of the stamp set. So again, it's a photopolymer one, and lots of pretty images in it, lots of great sentiments in it. And hey, I see a couple more people, Susan and Danette. So glad everybody's here. Thanks for joining. So this is the photopolymer stamp set, and easy to stamp with, see-through. It's two-step stamping, so you've got some of the images that are designed to line up with each other, and I'll show you how to use those as we move on and get towards stamping the card. So this is the die set that coordinates with it. So there are lots of cool dies in here. The open dies, this one cuts out your little cart image here. This one will cut out your canopy. This one cuts out your flowers. This one cuts out the sign, the little flower pot. This one cuts out the wheels and the stand. And then this one over here also cuts out the little row of flower pots. So it's an awesome little stamp set and die bundle. There are some accessory dies in here. So this one it's upside down on here. It's like a smaller flower pot that you can just die cut if you want to. This will die cut your wheels if you want to do just the wheels and cut them out of, I don't know, a different color cardstock rather than stamping and die cutting them. This creates like a little fence, if that makes sense, around your flower cart. I don't know, fence is probably not the right term, but basically it goes up right above the flower cart die cut and makes it, I don't know, so it looks like it's holding little plants and things in there. What else have we got on here? This one actually is designed to fill in give you the little canopy look on here. Oh, sorry, it's this one. You cut the canopy. Sorry, I knew I'm like, that doesn't look right. So if you wanted to make the canopy without actually stamping it, you can use these dies to do that. And then this one actually creates the little flower cart again without stamping anything. And of course I have it upside down. This will create the little flower cart. And again, you can assemble the whole thing without stamping a thing. So it's pretty awesome that you can make it out of die cuts. Another thing that I did use on this card is one of the circle dies from the Stylish Shapes dies. That's what I cut the sentiment out with. And I used the third from the smallest of the circle dies to cut that sentiment out. So, all right, a couple things before we get going on the card. Ooh, let me set that aside. So, Designer Series paper sale, Stampin' Up! Announced that is going to be happening starting on the 6th of August. It's 15% off some select Designer Series papers from the annual catalog and some of the carryover papers as well. So lots of them to choose from. There are 14 different ones on here. Again, it's not every single Designer Series paper. It's select ones from the annual catalog. So go take a look at that. Details are posted on my blog today, which is stampwithamyk.com. So stop over there. I'll have the details linked up when this blog post goes live for this card as well, so you'll be able to find all the details then. So let me know if you have questions about that. Again, this starts on the 6th of August and runs through the end of the month. Then online exclusives, just like to remind you to go take a peek at those every time you're out shopping in the online store. Hold on a second. Goodness. This is just a small sampling of what is available out there right now. So go take a look at those. Anytime you're out in the online store, you can find them by going to stampinup.com and then clicking on the menu button and then clicking on online exclusives. So there you go. Last thing is bonus days redemption time. So if you earn those bonus days coupons with your orders of $50 or greater during the month of July, make sure that you get them all redeemed by the end of August. That is the last chance that you have, is the month of August, to spend those. So anyway, let me know if you have questions. Again, details are on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. So thanks everybody. I see a few more people have hopped in here. Carol and Danette and William and Sal, I'm not, and Kathy. So everybody, thanks for joining today. All right, so card we're going to be making. Let's get moving on that before I start really rambling. Okay, pecan pie card base. This is cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. So it's your standard kind of book fold card base. And I've got a piece of Country Woods Designer Series paper, which is one of my favoriteest packs ever. So it's always hard to decide which one to put up and which one to put down on my cards anytime I use this paper. This is cut to about 4 1/4 by 5.5. Hey, good morning, Enid and Kathy. Thanks. I'm glad you're here. So if you wanted to, you could cut this down and have it be 3 1/4 by 5.5. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm working with this, a full card front like this, where it's mostly covered with one of the papers, I'll just go ahead and cut it to the full card size front, or card front size, so that I make sure everything is covered in case I have accidentally cut something a little bit incorrectly. I know the whole card front will be covered, even if my other little piece of Designer Series paper is cut a little bit short or something like that. So yeah, I try to, I don't know, like I said, I go back and forth, and sometimes it depends on what paper I have handy. If it's a pack that I'm running a little low on, then I may trim it down a little bit, but this one I'm actually working on my second pack of it. It's bad. I really like that paper. So this is a piece of peach pie card or Designer Series paper, and this is from the 2024 to 2026 in color Designer Series paper pack. It's a 6x6 stack, which is pretty awesome because you get several of each of the colors in there, or several of each of the designs in all of the new in colors in there. So I think there are four of each page or something like that. So there are quite a few more than your typical Designer Series paper pack. So this one measures about 1 inch by about 5.5. So it just covers the bottom section of the card front. So I've got a little bit of linen thread that we're going to wrap around the card front here twice. And we're going to tie a little bow over to the one side. I'm going to try to give myself a little extra of the linen thread, just because it's always easier to trim it off than it is to have a bow that's too small or doesn't work for where you want it to be because you cut it too short. So I usually am a little generous when I'm doing my cutting on any kind of ribbon or twine. So, all right. Going to tie a knot first, and I'm going to try to keep it way over here to the left hand side of the card so that the bow ends up in the spot where I want it to be. Going to pull that tight with the knot, make sure everything is placed where I want it to be, and then going to make my little bow here. There we go. Pulling the ends here a little bit because that's probably a little bigger than it needs to be. And then I'm going to trim off. I may trim these a little bit shorter. After I get the card made, we'll kind of see how it all looks when it comes together. So, hey, Debbie, thanks for joining. And I did say, I think I said hi to Ann. I'm not, but if not, hello, thanks for hopping in. So, all right, I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is cut to 3 1/4 by 4.5 inches. And again, all the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And Sherry, thanks for joining today too. And I will link up directly to the blog post in the description of the video, so you can find all the details over there tomorrow. And we're going to just stamp in gray granite ink, the little kind of pebble, or what's I think supposed to look like ground. I don't know. Ground, dirt, pebbles, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to stamp it here across. I'm just kind of flipping it around, trying to see if I can get them to, how I can get them best Jenga'd together. So I just wanted it to look like a consistent little path across the bottom. And that was smoky slate ink that I used to stamp that. And then I'm going to grab a blending brush and Coastal Cabana ink, and we're going to put a little Coastal Cabana ink around the top part with the blending brush. So I'm just going to go blending brush to the ink pad, swirl it around a little bit there, swirl it on my grid paper, and then head to the project with it. I usually try to swirl a little bit off of the project just to make sure that I'm not going to end up with a big dark glob of ink somewhere accidentally, because I got a little heavy-handed, swirling my blending brush. So that's what I find works best when I'm using inks and blending brushes, to try to minimize the glob into the ink. It's just make sure that I start off the project. Some of the ink pads are a little juicier than others. For instance, my brand new in color ink pads, I'm finding that I really have to start off the project and do quite a bit of swirling to get the the extra ink off of it before I go to the project. Otherwise, I do end up with globs of ink on it, and that's not my favorite look. So, all right. We're about done here. Just going to add a little swirl in here towards the center. Most of this is going to be covered, so I'm not going to worry too much about swirling everything to the middle. All right. Oh, let me close that up. And then we are going to adhere that to a piece of pecan pie cardstock that's about 1/8 of an inch wider and 1/8 of an inch taller. So it measures about 3 3/8 by about 4 5/8 inches. Just going to adhere it together with a little Stampin' seal. Hey, Drew, thanks for joining. And I forgot to say, as I was adhering the Country Woods Designer Series paper, that is one of the paper packs that is going to be on sale starting on the 6th of August. So yay. I may have to pick up another pack or 5 of that while it's on sale for an extra 15% off. So, all right, set that aside, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping here. So I've just got a piece of basic white cardstock is what I meant to say. And we're going to stamp some of the images from the flower card stamp set. So we've got pecan pie ink that we're going to start with. And that is what I'm going to stamp kind of the base of my cart, or the cart part of the cart in. Going to stamp that on basic white cardstock. Close that one up because that's all I need stamped in that. Then I've got the little flower pots, the set of 4, and we actually have to cut 2 of those, or stamp 2 of those. No, only need 1, sorry, only need 1. It's 2 sets of flowers, 1 set of little flower pots. And I've got crumb cake ink that I'm inking up in, maybe we'll fit that one in right down here, and stamping the little set of 4 flower pots in crumb cake ink. Then I'm going to stamp the wheels. And the wheels in the stand, I guess is what it is, image, and that I'm going to stamp in gray granite ink. You could also probably use the smoky slate ink, but I wanted them to be kind of, a slightly different color from each other. Not that it really matters greatly. They're both gray. So I don't know that anybody can really tell unless you look closely at it. Then I have got, this is the greenery image from the flower cart stamp set, and we're going to stamp that in Granny Apple green ink. 2 times. This is the one we need to stamp twice. So I think we'll stamp, I'm trying to figure out, I may have to grab another piece of basic white cardstock for my sentiment. We'll see if I can get these all to fit on here with the sentiment or not. So we're going to stamp that one twice. And close that up and set it aside. And then this is the floral image from the flower cart stamp set. And this, again, is one of those that you can use as the 2-step stamping. And I've got Lemon Lolly ink for the first ink color on it. And I'm just going to line it up based on where the greenery is and stamp it down. There we go. And this one's actually pretty easy to line up. Generally, when I'm doing the 2-step stamping, I'm going to clean this off here in between times. Grab my chamois and, all right, get the ink off of there. With the 2-step stamping, when I'm doing this type of an image, I usually try to stamp the darker color first and then the lighter, just because it's easier for me to see where things belong. Because I can see through the darker colors a lot easier than I can. If I stamp the really light colors first, I struggle a little bit more trying to get things placed in the right spot. All right, that was peach pie ink for that little set of flowers. And then I've got, oh, I should have left that out because I've got my sentiment to stamp yet here in peach pie ink as well. And this is the Have a Lovely Day sentiment, and this all comes from the flower cart stamp set. So, all right. Hey, Marion, thanks for hopping in. All right, now I've got a bunch of dies that I'm going to show you which ones cut what. Again, this is from the flower cart dies. So we've got the little flowers that we'll cut out. And again, I'm going to have to run it through at least twice here to get everything cut. Then I've got the little cart die. That one will cut this. The little flower pot die is down here. The wheels die is this one. And then I've got my Stylish Shapes dies that we're going to use to cut out the sentiment. So I've got that one here we're going to use to cut out that. So I'm going to be off screen doing my die cutting for just a second, so I will be right back. So, oh, thanks, Bonnie. Well, let me take this whole mess of dies and things over here. go. And one more. All right, the first pass through, I think I got most of these cut out here, and they cut out reasonably well. So we put all these dies back. Ugh. There we go. Got the little cart. There we go. And then I have to go run this back through again one more time to cut out the last set of flowers. There we go. Okay. And my last little set of flowers. Get that paper out of the way here and stick the dies kind of randomly back around my my card front, or my little magnetic sheet here, to make sure that I hopefully don't lose track of any of these. Oop, come on now. There we go. Maybe? No, I don't know. We'll go like this, and we'll just slide that over. That should work. All right. Get those out of the way, and then we just have to assemble our little image here on the front. Get the little extra pieces poked out of the wheel. And then we've got some mini glue dots here that we're going to be using to adhere this together into the card front. So I'm putting a couple of them. And placement on this is a pretty easy die cut to stick down, because there's a lot of kind of white space on here, so you don't have to worry so much about getting a lot of adhesive out on the edges. If you get the center of it stuck down, you'll be just fine with this one. So we're going to take that and we're going to adhere it. I think I'm going to lightly set it down here and make sure my little cart is going to fit where I want it to be and be about as straight as I want it to be on here. Maybe scooch it over just a hair. There we go. I think we'll stick that down. Then I've got my little flower cart, and putting a couple of mini glue dots behind that, and then I'm just going to tuck it up here underneath the one wheel on top of the other. Underneath the one wheel on top of the other, you know. So it needs to look like it's sitting on top of one and underneath the other. There we go. All right. Then I've got my pecan pie die cut flowers. We're just going to take, again, some little mini glue dots and stick those together, or stick those to the card front. Now it seems as though I missed one of the spots. There we go. That one's got it. And we're just going to take that and we're going to put it over the top of the little cart. And you want the cart, they kind of overflow the cart just a hair, so it sort of looks like the cart is really full of flowers. So there we go. This little piece of the cart I actually don't need, because my flowers are going to be covering it. This is designed to kind of tuck up underneath this part of the cart, if that shows, so that your cart is not like balancing in midair. You just take that and tuck it up underneath there to make it look like a little leg that it's standing on. But like I said, we're going to have ours balancing in midair, because we're going to have it covered with the little flower pot full of flowers, so we're all set. I'm going to grab some Stampin' dimensionals to put those on the back of the little die cut flower pot. And probably 3 of those. These are my little half dimensionals. I do chop mine in half, and I know some people love it and some people do not. So, you know, those of you that don't, I'm sorry. I really like my half, chopped in half dimensionals, so I use them all the time because I like the way they fit on things better. If you like the whole ones, you can always use those. Or you can use the minis if you prefer those, but I like my little half dimensionals. So I'm going to take that. Hey, good morning, Roxanne and Bonnie. If I didn't say hello, I appreciate that. I think I did. I can't remember. So, all right, then we're going to take our other little set of flowers. The only thing to be a little careful of when you're adhering these together, and they're both on dimensionals, is that you want to just make sure that you don't get your dimensionals down too low on the flower die cut, because it kind of has to slide over the top of the little flower pots just a bit. It doesn't have, it's not tons of overlap, but enough that you're going to want to be careful where you put your dimensionals. So you're going to stick that one on there, and then we've got our sentiment. And got one dimensional left, and I'll show you how I cut mine. So I do mine in rows and cut it right down the center of the row. Super quick and easy. It doubles my dimensionals, and I use tons of these. And plus, I just think they fit better on a lot of the things that I do. A lot of sentiments that I use are a little smaller, so I like the half dimensionals because they fit better. And the minis, in my opinion, are too small. I don't know. I'm weird, I guess. I'd started chopping up my dimensionals before the minis came out, and I just can't, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. At least that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so these are from the online exclusives. Speaking of those and going back to those, make sure you check out what's available in the online exclusives every time you go shopping in the online store, just because there are lots of things, and they kind of come and go. They're not tied to any catalog, so they're out there and available for as long as they're available, and then they go away. And these are some really awesome embellishments. They are flat, and they give your card a little something shiny, and they're self-adhesive. So those are like the things that I love about any embellishment. Something flat, easy to adhere, and a little bit of shiny, yay. All right, these are the adhesive-backed dragonflies and birds. And we're just gonna take a couple of the little dragonflies, and we're gonna adhere it up here around the little flower cart, just to add a little bit of something shiny to our card front. And I'm going to go back over to my card front and adhere this to the card front with my little Stampin' dimensionals. Well, I'm glad there are a few other old dogs on here. It is hard to learn new tricks, I'm telling you, especially stamping tricks, because, when you've been doing this for a little while, I guess we get stuck in a rut, and it is, I do it my way because I like it my way. So, all right. So I've got dimensional backings, peeling those all off. And then I'm just going to tuck this underneath my little bow here, and I can wiggle my bow around if I need to. I'm trying to make sure that it's fairly centered and fairly straight on the card front. And I'll kind of maneuver the bow around just a little so that a little bit more of the bow peeks out from underneath the panel. So there we go. All right, that's it for the card front. So super quick and easy. And like I said, I think it's one of my favorite bundle, or well, it used to be a bundle, one of my favorite stamp sets and die sets. It's now separate, but it's still available. Both pieces are in the current catalog. And then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock and my birthday sentiment for the inside of the card, a little pecan pie ink. And we're going to stamp the happiest birthday to you in hopefully kind of the center and fairly straight on my piece of basic white cardstock. This one is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And again, the details and measurements will all be out on my blog tomorrow, so you can go take a peek at them then, and I'll link directly to the blog post. There'll be a printable PDF tutorial with everything in it as well. So I'll link up to that tomorrow as soon as the post goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. All right, sticking that down with a little Stampin' Seal. This is just a little piece that I had trimmed away when I was making my card front. It measures about 1/2 inch by, it was about 6 inches. Stuck it on the bottom of here and just trimmed it down. So, oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Mary Ruth. I'm glad you're liking the cards that I'm making. So, oh, thank you. And I'm glad that made my day. I'm glad y'all are enjoying following along because I'm having a lot of fun sharing it with everybody. So I appreciate that. All right, going to stick this on the inside of the card here and fold it closed and grab my bone folder and get the dimensional backings off of it and give it a quick crease. And that's it. So it's done. Super quick, super easy, a little bit of stamping, a little bit of die cutting, and this is, again, Flower Cart stamp set, which is one of the carryover items, and Flower Cart dies, and they just make, I think, perfect summer cards. And actually, I'm thinking maybe this year I might try and do some red and green and maybe make it a little more Christmassy themed, because I don't know, they're probably kind of summery flowers, so maybe it wouldn't work Christmas, but I kind of thought about that today. I'm like, I should have done something Christmas since, I'm moving into Christmas card making. But anyway, so that is all. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm actually going to change around my live schedule again next week. My pre-order should be here on Wednesday of next week from the upcoming mini catalog. So I think I'm going to switch my live day to Wednesday, and it will the time will depend on when my order arrives, so probably will be a little later in the day, but I'm gonna go hop on and show you all my pre-order goodies from the upcoming September to December 2024 mini catalog on Wednesday. So that'll be my live for early in the week, and then I'll plan to be live with a project again next week Friday. So Again, the mini catalog pre-order starts on August 6th for demonstrators. I'll be ordering my catalogs for my customers. I'll be mailing those out just as soon as I can. And it's a great time to join. So if you're interested in doing that, give me a holler and I'd be happy to chat with you more about it. So thanks again, everybody, for joining today. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I'll plan to see you on Wednesday. And I'll post probably on my Facebook page when I'll be going live. Or if you subscribe to my channel, you should get a notification when I go live too. So thanks again. We will chat with you all soon.